Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this talk. It's a pleasure for us to introduce our work to the DIS community. I'm Doga Gatos, and I have just finished my PhD studies at Koç University, Turkey. I have worked on designing autism and parenthood communities in Turkey, and today I will be talking about our systematic review of online health communities. For this research, I collaborated with my co-authors Aslı, Günay, Güncel, Kırlangıç, Kemal, Kuscu, and Asim, Evren, Yantac from Koç University. For this paper, we systematically reviewed the literature on online health communities. But why? Because we realized the challenges in situating our research within this literature because of the diversity and the variance in topics available in the literature. So we wanted to provide a roadmap for future researchers and designers into the online health community literature while presenting the state of the art. Online health communities are online spaces where people with different health conditions and caregivers seek and share support related to their health and well-being. These communities can be found on existing social networking sites such as Facebook and Reddit in the form of discussion groups. There are also specialized online health communities which are specifically designed for specific health conditions, such as Baby Center, which is a community for pregnancy and motherhood. Over the last decade, these communities have become crucial parts of people's health information-seeking behaviors because of several advantages, such as being available for free, any time of the day, and from almost anywhere on Earth. Online health communities are quite relevant to interaction design and human-computer interaction, as they are an embodiment of translating health-related human behaviors into a digital context. For this systematic review, we used ACM Digital Library as our database because it contains a large archive of interdisciplinary HCI research. After testing and finalizing this search query, we ran the search on ACM Digital Library and retrieved 491 potentially relevant publications. As the first step of elimination, we eliminated the papers that are not English, not full papers, and that are in press but not yet published. This elimination resulted in 162 eligible publications to be reviewed. Lastly, we excluded the papers that do not report on a study done with users and do not inform the design of online health communities. This elimination resulted in 36 publications, which comprised the corpus for our review. And our analysis consisted of two steps. We first made a descriptive analysis of our corpus and then thematically analyzed them. I will start with the results of the descriptive analysis, where we analyzed the publication years, venues, methods, research size, and so on. We conducted this review in 2020, and our findings show that research on online health communities gained attention after 2014. When we checked the publication venues, CHI and CSCW conferences are the most represented ones. We then analyzed what health condition and communities are studied the most and found that cancer, diabetes, and mental health are the most studied conditions or communities. While specialized online health communities and groups on existing social networking sites were the most studied research sites, we also found papers focusing on specific UI elements and components, such as chatbots. 7 papers did not conduct the study in a research site and instead interviewed people on online health communities and their health conditions. Almost all papers investigated the communities without specifying user roles. And most research is conducted in requirements phase where researchers gathered users' needs. Interestingly, we spotted only 2 studies conducted during the design phase. When we analyzed the research methods used, we found that retrieving and analyzing user-generated data from the site is the mostly used method, which is usually followed by interviews. And lastly, and unfortunately, more than half of the papers did not mention their ethical procedures. Yet, we came across numerous strategies to secure user privacy and safe conduct before, during, and after data collection, which we explained in detail in our review, in our paper. And in this last part of our presentation, I will very briefly go through the discussion topics we found across 36 papers through a thematic analysis. The first overarching discussion theme we found was the temporality. There was a prominent emphasis on how online communities serve as transition spaces throughout people's health journeys and how their needs and roles in the communities change in time based on the course of their condition. A central suggestion for making online health communities useful transition spaces was to considering whether a condition follows a linear or a nonlinear course of development. The second common discussion topic was the effects of people's interactions in online spaces on their offline lives. Online health communities are closely related to people's cultures and have the power of changing the norms about stigmatized conditions. Moreover, these spaces can support people for multiple aspects of their conditions, but not only the medical aspects. So the general suggestion was to see these online spaces as integral parts of people's daily lives that challenge cultural and medical views, and that they should be connected to offline health services as well as digital health products for a holistic support mechanism. And maybe the most interesting part of our review was the suggested technologies and methods to help people exchange and find support on online health communities. The first cluster of suggestions are about linguistic assistance and norm moderation. As most of the support exchange occurs verbally due to these communities' affordances, many publications suggest ways to linguistically assist members when asking for or providing support, such as formulating better questions, posting good quality content, and being aware of over or understatements. Besides improving the quality of the content created to seek or provide support, linguistic assistance in these communities may be needed to conform to community norms and culture. Forming a community culture starts by creating norms, a typically user-generated set of rules and traditions that are shaped around the community's linguistic practices. And we saw an emphasis on promoting peer moderation to sustain norms within communities. Another crucial aspect of exchanging support is the ability to find similar experiences and peers. Interestingly, publications elaborated on how to match peers and emphasized the importance of similarities between peers that are beyond the shared health diagnosis. To this end, automatized matchmaking and enhanced profiles have been suggested. In addition to matching peers based on their roles, needs, and profiles, it's important to index the content on online health communities. As we explained earlier, individuals experiencing a new health condition or life transition turn to online communities to gain the experiential knowledge of their peers, which is shared in peer-to-peer interactions conversationally. These conversations encapsulate useful information and collectively create bases of knowledge. However, given the volume of members and the large body of potentially helpful content that is shared, helping users navigate and find existing yet fragmented information within that knowledge base becomes a challenge for designers. We discussed the suggested methods for index and support in our paper in detail. We also spotted tensions that were commonly discussed. Please see our papers for the details of these tension points. And lastly, this review indicated several future directions to be taken into consideration when doing research on and designing online health communities, such as incorporating holistic support mechanisms, such as integrating offline health services and personal health products into online health communities, developing more granular ways to capture, share, and index members' narratives, stories, and journeys to locate the support better, involving patients and medical experts in the design of online health communities, and also reporting the ethical considerations more transparently for better ethical development in studies. Thank you for listening, and I would like to answer your questions. Thanks.